Aftermath of Laura, we're hearing stories of people helping one another out, neighbors, friends, and also family. Chris Welty joins us live in Lake Charles with one family story tonight. Chris.
Hey Jim, in the aftermath of hurricanes, it's so common for family and friends to want to be able to help out, and they might live in the same community as you, but when you live thousands of miles away and you're watching the images of this storm unfold, you feel a sense of urgency and a sense of you have to do something. And for one son, he says he made the right decision to come back immediately to help his mom.
She worries me nonstop.
More than 1,100 miles away, working in Milwaukee, Houston Baudouin knew he needed to make it back home to check on his mom and sister following Hurricane Laura.
They lived through the worst hurricane in this part for, a long time.
On Thursday, he booked the first flight to New Orleans and then rented a car to make it back home to Sulphur. Houston, not letting anything stop him.
And as soon as I saw her, I dropped everything and I just ran and gave her a big hug because I knew she was heartbroken and devastated on this. And she walked me down here, opened the door, and it took me about 2 minutes to walk through that threshold because this is where I grew up. We've had this home for 20-something years.
His sister and I are so blessed to have him. He came he came on his own. We're a very tight family unit. The three of us are just tight, and it shows. Actions speak louder than words. Boy, there he was on the doorstep.
The devastation, much more than mom and son expected.
This part goes up there.
Laura ripping off the roof, their chimney, and destroying so much more. During the height of the storm, Houston's mom and sister riding it out in the bathroom. Once the roof came off of this home and the eye of the hurricane was passing over, everyone was able to quickly run to a neighbor's house to safety.
Devastating. It leaves you with a very empty feeling. Very empty. What are you going to do?
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. But you don't even feel it in your heart. It's just because you're just numb. It's a numbing, empty feeling.
Baudouin says, fortunately, her son, daughter, and their friends have been able to help get priceless photos and other items out before the rebuilding process begins.
I just wanted to make sure we had those things because that's how I'm going to remember. That's what I'm going to pass down to my kids.
And I was asking Houston how long he's planning to stay in town, and he told me that he is planning to stay as long as he needs. As for his mom, she told me that she is planning to rebuild, but instead of building a two-story house this time, she's planning to build a one-story. And as we mentioned, the recovery process is really just getting started. Houston, he's one of my friends from UL, and whenever I was heading into Sulphur, he asked me, hey, can you bring us some Gatorade, bottled water, first aid supplies? He says that there's just nothing open in this area, and that's the story for miles. And this community, they're really going to need help and the help of neighbors to continue surviving. Live in Lake Charles, Chris Welty, KATC TV3.
And in the aftermath of